And today, people, we are switching it up for more than meets the eye, and we are covering Mikey's most anticipated series of this series, which is the Drift Empire of Stone miniseries.
Let's go!
I've been waiting for this day. I'm so happy that we're doing this.
Let me in. Let me in.
Oh Lord, thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much for letting me do this book.
It's 4 issues. It's not that much of a detour. We open this book with a couple of aliens running from explosions when Drift comes trashing into the scene. Turns out that since he was kicked off the Lost Light, he's been wandering around the outer edges of the galaxy, beating up rogue Decepticons and generally just being a badass.
So cool.
Feel free to stop me anytime if you have anything to say, by the way, Mikey.
Okay, no problem.
So as he apprehends this latest group of rogues, he reflects on how these aliens are the types of people he wants to fight for, victims of a war they never wanted any part of. Later, Drift arrives at a Galactic Council outpost with his Decepticon prisoners in tow, ready to turn them over to the space police. The Decepticons protest this since Cybertronians are supposed to handle their own kind, and as a surprise we get a surprise visitor, Ratchet, who seems to agree with this.
You already know who it is. It's your boy.
Ratchet exposits how he came looking to bring Drift back to the Lost Light, and how the crew now all know that he took the fall for the Overlord incident. However, Drift argues that he's not going back, at least until he rids this part of space of every rogue Decepticon.
And I need you, and I miss you.
Drift and Ratchet are able to take cover, but the escaped Decepticon isn't so lucky, being harassed and threatened by his own side for being on board an Autobot ship, even as a prisoner. Drift can't just stand by and watch as they prepare to execute this man, and Drift leaps into action despite Ratchet's protests.
Here's the thing, right? I like how a common pattern with this theme in this book is how dumb Drift is in terms of his decision making.
What are you doing?
And when I read this, I was like, yo, like, what are you doing? He's a Decepticon. Just let him die, bro. Even though I respect the moral code, I respect the code of Bushido and all that bullshit, but like, let this man die to save yourself. But then, nah, he saves him. But I'm happy that he saves him because I love this character that we don't know the name of yet.
If he didn't save him, you wouldn't get to see him do like cool flips and shit.
Exactly, yeah.
So what do we think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was good. It was fun. I mean, especially because I think the highlight of it is just the banter and like the relationship between Ratchet and Drift. I think it's so fun. It's very like I don't know what to compare it to. I think maybe
it's very buddy cop, you
know, very
like
buddy cop.
Like,
very like
I would call Drift like the jokester, but like I guess less serious in a way.
It's no, honestly, it's like it's kind of like I guess Lethal Weapon or like 48 Hours. Like it's kind of that kind of vibe where it's like
either of those movies.
It's fine. The audience will hopefully know. But like
bully me in the comments.
Yeah, so like 48, like so like I want to say it's more 48 Hours. So like Drift is more the Eddie Murphy character, while Ratchet is more like the Nick Nolte character who's all serious and shit and like can't deal with fucking Eddie Murphy's nonsense, which is Drift. So I like that relationship a lot.
Jack, tell me a story.
Fuck you.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Alright, so Drift tries to get in a shot at Hellbat while he's distracted, only to be blocked by one of his goons, who I now know is Vanquish. Thank you, Mikey.
You're welcome.
But Grit jumps in to keep him occupied while Drift saves the day. In a slightly confusing action sequence, Drift reminds Gigatron that if Hellbat wins, they both lose, and gets Gigatron to launch him towards Hellbat.
Dude pulls a fastball special.
Damn it, Logan, don't do this!
Freaking Drift isn't only the the Snake Eyes of the Transformers universe. He's also the Wolverine too. I love it.
So, what are our thoughts on the Drift miniseries?
It's fucking great, and I love it. The fact that like Drift is kind of on a path of self-discovery and like doesn't really know his place in the world. And then basically like, him figuring out what he's meant to do in the universe, and also making like accepting like hey, like maybe I can go back to my friend with like Ratchet there, and like Ratchet is basically just like his moral support throughout the entirety of this book, and also calling him out on his bullshit every chance he gets. And because Drift, even though Drift is cool, he can be pretty dumb sometimes and not make the sharpest decisions. I like that a lot.
We'll aim for Bigfoot. That's loaded.
This man is going on a path of like self-discovery and like redemption after his past deeds. He doesn't kill anyone, even though he has swords. I'm like, huh. This man is the fucking Rurouni Kenshin of Transformers. Like, it's basically just a samurai who is like one of the most skilled badass samurais ever, and has killed a bunch of people in the name of war. But then, when the war is over, he's like, I'm gonna go on a path of like redemption for like all my past sins, and he rocks a sword called a reverse blade, where like it's more dulled. Like the edge of the blade is basically flipped, so like when he hits people, like it's more of a blunt hit instrument than like a sharp like razor sword that cuts people. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, like the character's name is Kenshin, like Homura Kenshin, and literally like that's literally Drift in this book, bro. That's literally Drift. And I'm just like, that makes me love Drift 10 times more, because yeah, it's just like
he's just an anime hero. He's a shonen protagonist.
Believe it!